its 80% share, about $175 billion in AIG, to stop those bonuses.
And here with his take on that is Republican Representative Dan Burton of Indiana. Representative Burton, thank you so much for joining us today, sir. We appreciate your coming on the show.
Well, thank you for having me.
So what do you make of what's going on with AIG?
Well, you know, there's a lot more to this story than meets the eye. I think, you know, the Treasury Department and the White House are the people that came up to the Capitol Hill and said, we need this money right away. And they were pushing it so hard and so fast that many of my colleagues voted for these bills, and they didn't know what was in them. We didn't know what was in the stimulus package. We didn't know what was in the TARP package. All we knew is that the Treasury people and the White House said we had to have this money very quickly. And then today the president is complaining like crazy about the $165 million in bonuses that are being paid. And my question is, why didn't the White House know about it? And if they didn't know about it, they should have. After all, they came up here and asked for all this stuff, and they were deeply involved with the conference committees that were working on these bills.
Well,
and so I think,
Representative, if you want to haul Hank Paulson back up, he's the one who pushed this all through. He's not really showing his face at the moment, but we do want to let you know this latest information that we have exclusively from Fox News that, guess you could call it AIG meets Cramdown. Fox has learned that Representative John Conyers of Michigan, the Democrat and the chairman of the House Judiciary Committee, introducing a bill that would give the AG and the Treasury Secretary an opportunity to undo the bonus contracts. Is that the solution?
Well, I think that's one approach. I'm not sure it'll stick because these contracts, as I understand it, are valid. AIG should not have taken that money. Those employees should not have taken that money. Nevertheless, it's done. And my big concern is that we're passing an awful lot of legislation. They're talking about another stimulus package right now. And the last one we passed had 1,100 pages in it, and we had about 4 hours to go through it. We really need to look at these bills very thoroughly, especially when we're spending hundreds of billions of dollars of the taxpayers' money. And the White House and Congress has an obligation to do that because we don't want to find out about these things after the fact as we're doing now.
All right, but, sir, House Judiciary Committee could introduce this bill, which would invoke the bankruptcy clause of the Constitution. The bill could be marked up. Would you vote for a bill like that to get a clawback of these bonuses? Yes,
I would. I would do anything to try to get the money back for the taxpayers. But the problem is greater than just this one issue, and I hope my colleagues will take a hard look at all legislation coming up here that deals with these financial institutions.
Representative, does that mean that you do ask Henry Paulson to come back and talk about why there weren't safeguards put in, or at least something that we talked about this in September? That, I think, is what's so frustrating, where we said, okay, you want the TARP, all right, but can we make sure that we won't later on down the line see the Wall Street version of Imelda Marcos's shoe closet?
Yeah. No, the problem is not just Paulson. The Congress of the United States put $700 billion in TARP money out there, and the conferees, the committee chairman of the Senate Finance and the House Banking Committees, they should have been very thoroughly investigating everything that was going into that bill and know where the money was going. And the White House that participated in this, along with Paulson, should have taken a hard look at where the money was going and had a plan. And evidently they didn't, because now we see $165 million in bonuses, and now we also see money going to France, Germany, Britain, Merrill Lynch, Goldman Sachs, Citigroup. All of them got money out of that deal, and it should have all been perused very thoroughly before this took place.
Shoulda. Absolutely. Representative Dan Burton of Indiana, thank you for coming on.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Well, we've got much more